Hello, my name is Scuria-Herman, and today I'll be checking out Skip Town by Aesop. I could give the whole spiel about who this was suggested by, but by now you probably know. Regardless of that fact, let's just jump into it. I might just cut this intro down because I'm quite literally saying nothing, especially anything that I haven't said before. So, let's check this out. I've got zero expectations, zero knowledge, but then again, I never do. So, alright. Let me raise the volume so I can get... I do like the beat starting out. I know he's about to say something. But I do like the beat starting out. It, again, feels different every single time. It's a little bit of something different. But it has a different kind of vibe than other songs of his. It feels sort of like... I don't know. It feels kind of like a Western, kind of. I'm getting that kind of vibe from it. I don't know. Well, let's see what the lyrics are.
The train, watching the rainbows, thank you, windows. I mean, it's sort of same as some, but that cityscape makes me numb. Walking a wire between fire, water, and water. I'll take the time. Still managed to end up thirsty the day the nursery collapsed in my hand.
I feel like the Western vibe I got was kind of accurate, because it does feel like, it feels very folktale-y with the lyrics. So
and I hold the plumage of a buzzard, something for circling nutrition. I may have just saved your children. It is more tendency telling me to grip that sickle. The pirate tyrant breathes feed on your precious little pickle. Yeah. I interviewed the sun, he said the future's looking bright. I interviewed the rain, he claimed the sun's truly an asshole. I was supposed to interview the snow today, but of course he flaked. So I let my preacher's demeanor teeter and take his vacant place. We sprouts with the same litter, yet amazingly crafted by separate scissors. I sloth more of the beaten past blasting the Cretan blizzard.
Sloth is really cool as a verb. I really like him using that there. I feel like that's a very creative way to do that. I never see sloth as a verb. This is such a minor thing, especially given like the wordage that we've seen from Aesop Rock in the past, but I feel like that's very intuitive to have sloth as a verb there. I think that's cool.
Time is hurting to a little lost causes. My time is spent plugging these leaky bosses. And I'm here to pose inquiries. I'm here to draw a fork in the road and call it the diary of common sheep aspiring. Little Billy Star lit up the block, got the right premise, but can't thread the needle without consulting the apprentice president. Yeah, I'm gone and I best believe I'm leaving. Packing my belongings.
The rhythm kind of changed.
I haven't exactly been embraced by the populace. Sail up on the 7 deadly seas of the anonymous. I'm gone and I best believe I'm leaving. Packing my belongings, then it's up into the evening. I'm digging a tunnel to where the sun will never shine. I got my book, I got my dream, I got myself, and I'll be fine. Time is the day before the day the earth stood still. Time is the day before the soldiers fired at will. Time is the day before the hunter made his kill. Time to find a mile before the valley meets the hill.
I feel like this might be a too literal interpretation of the lyrics here, but the idea of just before something or just after something, it's like the folktale of a folk hero who is on the precipice of an arc, but refuses to go on the arc out of fear of what the arc might do to him. Because we're looking at these lyrics about, like, you know, being threatened and all these things, and he's fine with it, really. Like, he's saying, like, you know, I'm gonna leave, I haven't really been exactly embraced by the populace, but it doesn't really seem to bother him that much. But it's the idea of going through change that really is missing from this song, and I don't think that's an accident. Because he's doing all these tropes. See, I judge a man's dignity by the wattage in his stare. Even though there's like a, you know, again, a twist on the trope. But he's using that trope, and you can kind of tell when something is being left out, which I think is interesting here.
Day before the hunter made his kill. Time to find a mile before the valley meets the hill. I'm an archer, market where the farmers barter appetite. Sweet talking harassment down to a mere flashing of badges. Prototypic landscapes chased every step of my well-oiled collective workforce with roles and intentions vested. What about the captivate? I am the product of skeleton dancers, voice crooked scattered amidst blue fields of fiery bliss mixed with disease applicant activist rattlers. Fascinate grave child. Slave smiles after sticking a pin in limb. If I could offer maintenance of fantasies, I would. I'd place the button in the city square for everyone to push.
That's really cool. Okay. This is continuing the same thing that I was already saying. So he's looking at all these things. Oh, you're expecting slave smiles after sticking the pin in a limb. I didn't react to that at the time, but that's a really good line for this kind of image that he's building. But right here, God, if I could offer maintenance of fantasies, I would. I'd place the button in the city square for everyone to push. His fantasy that he's presented in the song so far is the idea of being able to be this folk hero, of being able to be this idyllic figure that everyone can look up to. That is his fantasy to an extent. And he wishes to preserve that by refusing to make anything that'll make him different. He wants to be in this perpetual state of being threatened for his life, because if he has to look deeper into himself, then his identity is threatened.
For maintenance of fantasies, I would. I'd place the button in the city square for everyone to push. You see, my mission responsibilities range across the board, and said I'd rather be a pen than a sword. I swim a cold lake, and make no mistake, I was not ready, all edgy and out of shape.
See, this is the change.
I'm sorry, honestly, take it or leave it. Just let me know so I ain't begging forgiveness throughout the evening. Basic locomotive.
Because he is maintaining that sort of like cool, aloof attitude, but now he's, doing things that he's not able to do. Like we have this transition. You see, my mission responsibilities range across the board to immediately, and still I'd rather be a pen than the sword. Then we go into this part. I assume I called like this part, I was not ready. That's important to note. Made the company look messy, unprepared. Sorry, I'm sorry is overly apologizing. Just let me know so I am begging forgiveness throughout the evening. Again, the delivery makes it cool and aloof, but the lyrics themselves, he is in his most vulnerable state right now.
Just let me know so I ain't begging forgiveness throughout the evening. Basic locomotive with a whistle and caboose. Trying to pull my cargo across the map without a boost. Crashing in more ways than 10 years, 30 bird construction. Hope the smokestack's puffing to the moon. I'm gone and now best believe I'm leaving. Back in my
See, now this verse is recontextualized with what happened before.
Comes about. Sweet reports and you can spare a couple of breadcrumbs and a cow. I'm gone and now best believe I'm leaving. Back in my belongings, then it's off into the evening. This turning in my sleep is getting old and older still. I think I will.
There you go. Hero's Journey. That was cool. I really like that. Oh, it's still going. It's got a amount of minute left. We got any more verses, or is it... I think it's just instrumental for the rest of it. Well, while it's playing, I do have to say, very cool. I've made a video on the hero's journey in the past, but I feel like this encapsulates it very well, especially because it puts the vulnerability of a hero's journey on full display, and that the bravest thing you can do is sacrifice your bravery. Sort of. I think it's very cool. I like this. I think this is one of those like songs that are like there's a wealth of. I think I barely even scratched the surface of what I said. There's also like an entire perspective of the song that I could have missed, but I feel like this is one of the songs that you really should look deeper into. So here's a very different perspective from what I took. I took a very literary kind of thing, or I guess like, proto-heroic, but I feel like he's talking about spreading his music the natural way, how they used to do it without influencing the corporate labels or selling out. I think that's a very interesting way to say it, because I didn't pick that up at all. And it would be very cool if that is the case, because you have to put that in a frame of mind, because I don't think that the two perspectives necessarily have to contradict one another. I think this idea of like spreading his music the natural way, and this idea of like avoiding change, I think that those go hand in hand very much so. It just, the song takes a more negative turn in that case, because in that case he succumbs to the corporate atmosphere at the end. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I will. Or you could look at that as an uplifting thing, like, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to do anything different. There's multiple ways you could read this. Yeah. That's all I had to say about the song. That's all the comments had to say about the song. This was very short, but I didn't really have much to say about this one. I wouldn't say it's cut and dry. I think there's a wealth of depth to this that I didn't scratch the surface of. But I think that's just my first impression. If you have a different first impression, if you have different, second and third and fourth impressions that I haven't come to yet, let me know in the comment section down below. Hopefully I didn't completely misinterpret the song, and even if I did, I think it's still a cool message either way. I think that if I'm going with this one comment with one like, if that's the correct interpretation of the song, I think that's a cool reading too. I think that both can coexist. But regardless of that fact, that's going to be all from me. So until next time, adieu.